Twilight of the Gods is a 2D adult animated action series based on Norse mythology, created by Zack Snyder, Jay Oliva, and Eric Carrasco for Netflix. The story centers mainly on a woman named Sigrid, who seeks revenge against Thor, the god of thunder, after he murders her family and destroys her home. She gathers a group of people who seek their own desires between their own revenge and personal gain, and they venture off. Joining her is her husband Leif, who was with her during the attack. They originally fell in love after fighting in battle together. They stay by each other's side and press forward to seek justice for Sigrid, despite his communications of how he feels about the whole situation throughout the journey. But at the end of the day, remains loyal to the woman he loves. We have Egil, a poet who likes to get around from place to place, and has his own issues of a troubled past and where his loyalties lie in, whether it's with his new friends or on his own. The Cid Kona, a witch who aids the group in hopes of meeting the goddess Freya, but could also see her own future with the group, and that's how their paths get intertwined in the first place. There's Andvari, a blacksmith who seeks his own revenge against the god Loki. Despite knowing that he's aiding Sigrid on her quest, he joins them anyway. And there's Hervor, a warrior with nothing left to lose, who has become a close friend to Sigrid, so she doesn't hesitate to help her in her quest.
I'll piss and we can go, yeah?
So I don't want to spoil much in case people are interested in the series, so I'm going to keep it minimal and pretty much what you can gather from the trailers and clips they've shown before the series released. It's essentially a revenge story of a mortal woman and her group of people she gathers to kill a god to settle a score. In terms of revenge stories though, you can definitely understand the motivations of Sigrid. After losing almost everyone you had in your life, almost in a flash, I feel a lot of people would want revenge and justice served. But, and this might be a me problem, it doesn't feel as in-depth as it could have been, with the characters and the story. For the story, it seems just very straightforward to get from place to place and get a person to join the cause, which is pretty glossed over quickly in pursuit of the quest they are doing. So all of a sudden you have like a band of 5 or 6 people already, and I feel like I barely know any of them. That all being said, they do try to give some of them some development in both present and flashbacks, but it still doesn't feel as detailed as it could have been. So when something happens to a specific character, I don't feel as impacted as I should. Nowadays, shows can just completely go off the walls, but the impact is still felt, but I don't feel as much of it here, outside the main two at least. Also, I have to address this, but this show is very much an adult animated series, filled with a lot of blood and some gore, and as well as nudity. Like, you see it all. I wouldn't say it was jarring or anything, but if this is a series that isn't your cup of tea, it's probably okay to stay away from it. I felt like this series, when it came to its adult-oriented content, it seemed like it was always just blood and sex, and well, that's fine and all, but personally, I think an adult series shouldn't have all that kinds of stuff all the time, just right in your face. It can definitely be part of the story, but you can't call it for mature audiences, and those are the only things mature about it. A mature show also deals with mature themes and subject matter, like the story about taking revenge can be actually a very mature story, if done well. And in some areas of the show, I feel like they kind of bring it up, but I don't feel like it's enough because it doesn't go into a lot of depth as I would want it to. And I feel like the action and such takes precedence over the character's development. One thing I can definitely praise here is the animation. It's very nicely done by Stone Quarry Animation and Shilam Animation. Stone Quarry is Zack Snyder's company for VFX, so of course he's going to use its resources. And Shilam has experience with a lot of other movies and shows throughout the years, so they know what they're doing. The action is very well done, it's very fluid and flows extremely well. It's certainly not the typical art style of most shows, but that definitely helps it stand out more. The designs do make it feel like more of a fantasy story out of Norse mythology. Overall, a pretty decent show. I might even say it's good, but it can be better if developed properly. The show has its highs and lows. And I know a lot of people give Zack Snyder a lot of flack, and honestly, you might think the same about this one too. Or maybe you want to give it a shot. I'd say at least give the first few episodes a watch and see how you like it. The finale teases a season 2, so we'll see if it happens or not. I do hope if it gets another season that they put more development into the characters. But despite its flaws, I still found myself enjoying some things in it. Let me know what you all think of the series so far. Is it a good one, or are you passing on it?